Welcome to the Common Man Football Show. My name is James Coburn, and today's episode, this was a listener request from Eric Comas, who basically asked for another Green Bay Packer video, but at least referring to pursuit linebackers. And I figured I would do that. Let's do some pursuit linebackers. Of course, I'm not really focusing on the edge rushers, guys like Clay Matthews and stuff like that, but more so the interior linebackers of the Packers. Really two guys, Jake Ryan and Blake Martinez, because there does seem to be somewhat of a pattern when it comes to the Packers, at least with these two players. There's somewhat of a data pattern, and I kind of wanted to show what that pattern was. So for those that are new to the channel, all the terms will be in the description. So if you're not familiar with any of the stuff that I usually talk about, just go to the description. And the terms and definitions will be there. So starting out, I guess with the first player in particular, Blake Martinez. When you look at Blake Martinez in terms of production coming out of college, he had a 96.27 solo tackle market share production score. Based on that score, he pretty much hits every single threshold you could think of when it comes to multiple All-Pro players and multiple Pro Bowl players. Every single multiple All-Pro linebacker since the 1996 NFL draft class had at least a 90 percentile or higher score when it comes to solo tackle data. And every Pro Bowler had at least a 77 or higher score. So Blake Martinez pretty much hits all those production marks. But does he hit the athleticism marks? And this is the only breakdown when it comes to Blake Martinez, is his athleticism data doesn't match his production data for the most part. He has a 10.45 explosive lower body strength score, a 52.26 speed score, and a 79.56 flexibility score. Very good flexibility score. Very good flexibility testing. Flexibility testing pretty much matches up with the minimum threshold for all-pro players, but his speed score doesn't really hit the minimum threshold when it comes to all-pro linebackers or Pro Bowl linebackers for that matter when it comes to his speed. And on top of that, his explosive lower body strength score, which again is the vertical and the broad jump measured against mass density, is really low, almost single digits. It's still starter level, There have been linebackers that have had as low of an explosive lower body strength score and have gone on to become long-term starters. But that's basically what Blake Martinez is. He's a guy that has some skill sets, some athletic skill sets that are really good, like his flexibility. Doesn't quite have the speed to kind of just, go crazy. And doesn't quite have the explosive lower body strength, at least in terms of lower body power, that you are, expecting out of a guy like that. So in many ways, his athleticism testing is inconsistent, but he does have good production. He had a really high production score. So I would say at the very least, you're looking at a guy with a ultimate potential of being a long-term starter. So I think that's what you should expect from him in the future. And then when you get to Jake Ryan, another guy, very good solo tackle market share production score. Had a 93.81 out of 100. Pretty much hits all the sort of thresholds you're looking for when it comes to that. And when it comes to athleticism testing, did a bit better than Blake Martinez. Obviously, he had a 69.21 explosive lower body strength score, 73.80 speed score, and 78.71 flexibility score. In many ways, he has at least Pro Bowl threshold athleticism traits. He's not quite all-pro. He doesn't have the explosiveness of an all-pro player, nor does he have the speed of an all-pro player, but he does actually have pretty good testing overall when you look at just his explosive lower body strength and speed and flexibility. So out of those two linebackers, Jake Ryan at least has the most upside potential of turning in, multiple Pro Bowl type seasons, potentially speaking. If he continues to develop. So out of both those linebackers, he's pretty much the main guy, when it comes to at least having the most upside, the most potential to be a major breakout player. So with all that out of the way, that was the pursuit linebackers of the Green Bay Packers in terms of starters. I think it's a decent group of guys. I think they do have. It's only a trend in the sense of these are guys who were drafted relatively recently, but they do tend to, based on the data I just showed you, go after guys that were really productive as linebackers in terms of solo tackle data. So they tend to have a type, and also flexibility testing. Both Martinez and Jake Ryan performed really well when it comes to the short shuttle/3 count. So those seem to be the two big data points they tend to look for when it comes to pursuit linebackers. And if you're trying to do predictions or anything else like that about future draft picks with them and their linebackers, those would be probably the two main things I would be looking at in terms of figure out guys that they would actually want to target and stuff like that. So, of course, my name is James Coburn. You can find my other work at draftcoburn.wordpress.com. You can also follow me on Twitter at Geometrics. And if you like this content and you want more content like this, be sure to leave a like and subscribe. Share this video as well if anybody that you know, and I'll talk to you guys in the next video. Peace.